Hello Red Base, how are we all? And parents, hope we're all okay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about reading at home. We would normally have a parents meeting this time of year to get you all in and to discuss what we would expect from you as parents to be doing with your child at home to help with their reading. Obviously, because of COVID, we can't do that. So the next best thing is for me to film a short video for you and show you what you can do to help your child at home. This will be the first of many videos about reading. So this will just be briefly around the basics that you need to start your child in becoming a really good home reader. And then as the year goes on, we'll be giving you more and more videos that tell you more and more information. Okay, so just to start with, I'd like to talk to you about the book bag. Now the book bag looks like this. This is a Bankside Primary School book bag. It's really nice. Open it up here, really good size, space for the name on the back. So, really important that your child comes to school with a book bag. It doesn't have to be a book bag, it could be a rucksack from your own home as well. So something like this, just a normal rucksack bag would be absolutely fine. Just make sure it's named. You can buy these school book bags from the office. So just pop along to the office and you can buy them. I think they're £5, which is really reasonable. The best thing about a book bag is that, as in the name, they're shaped like a book. So it means that any book that your child gets, big or small, will fit nice and neatly into the book bag and not get squashed or creased. But if you don't want to buy one and you want to use a rucksack, that's absolutely fine. So after the holidays, really important that your child has a book bag or a rucksack to bring to school every day that's named, so that we can start to send some things home that are going to really help your child with their reading. So some of these things will look like this. The first thing your child will get is obviously a book. Now a book can come in many different forms. It might look like this. It might be an everyday book, storybook, that's got lots of pictures and writing in there. This kind of book is for you to read to your child. It's not for your child to read to you. Obviously, it's quite a hard story, quite a hard text, and we wouldn't expect children to be able to read the words in this book. So if you get a book like this is for you to read to your child and to talk to your child about. I'll be doing a little bit of work around how to talk with your child when you're reading a book later on in this film, so watch out for that. Okay, so you may just get a storybook. Okay, the next type of book you might get looks like this. Now the interesting thing about these books is if you look inside, there are no words. Can you see that? There are no words at all on the page. This is a talking book for you to talk with your child about. It's not a book for them to read. So again, later on in this film, I'll show you how you can use these books. But if your child's not ready to read yet, not to read the words themselves, you might find that they get these books. These are called wordless books. Okay. Once your child has learned enough sounds for them to be able to read themselves, you will start to obviously get books that have got words in them. So these are the books that have got child-friendly words at your child's level for them to be able to follow the text and read the words. These are good books because at the beginning of the book it tells you some information about the sounds that are covered in this book and some of the words and the tricky words that are covered in this book. And the back of the book, it also tells you the sounds that are covered in this book as well. And then in the back of the very back of the book, this has got some lovely questioning and follow-up work that you can do at home if you are stuck. So please do use those. So this is what we would call a proper reading book. This is for your child to read to you. And again, I'm going to show you how you might do that when later on in this film. So your child will have a book in their book bag. Your class teacher or key worker will make sure that when your child has got a book, on their Tapestry account, a little message will be put just to say that your child has got this book. It'll name the book, and if there's any specific things they want you to focus on, such as sounds or tricky words or just talking about the book, they'll pop that on there as well. So look out for those. They should be with you every Friday when we change the books for your children. You might find that you read the book really quickly in one day. We try not to change books more than once a week, and the reason why is because we really want the children to have practice of reading the book more than once. You might find that your child reads it fluently first. That's absolutely fine. The more fluent they become with those books, the better they will become at becoming sight readers, the better they will become at not having to break up every single word that they look at, and the more familiar they will become with the vocabulary that they're reading in the book. So please don't try and send their books back on Monday because you feel that they've read it. Ask your class teacher, is there anything else you can do? I imagine that there will be lots of things that you can do with that book as well. But class teacher is your first person to go to if you've got any problems with that. Okay. The next thing you might find in the book bag is this little blue book. Now, as we start to teach the children phonics sounds, these books will come home and they will have new sounds in them every week. So you might see this. This has got a sound, a picture on it. These are the ones that we will use in class. So it's got the sound, it's got the action, and it's got a picture to show you that sound. Now, in reception, we teach the children the names of the sounds, but we also teach them the sound that each sound makes. So we wouldn't call this S, we would call this S, and get them to make that sound. Really important that the children know the names of the sounds and not just the sounds of the sounds and not just the names of the sounds in order to be able to read. There is a really good website called Jolly Phonics. If you type Jolly Phonics into YouTube, it will come up with all the different sounds and all the different actions and different songs to go with each one, which can be really, really useful for your children to learn their sounds. I will put that link on Tapestry for you, so you've got that there as well. Okay, so look out for those. There'll be new ones of those every week. You also might find something called a sound mat. Once your child has started to learn lots of different words, lots of different sounds. Oh, that's upside down. There we go. Lots of different sounds. You will get a summary sound mat so they can just look at the sounds and go through them really quickly. So you would literally get your child to point to each one and say the sound. So s, a, t, p, I, and keep practicing with that. Okay, got single sounds on the front, and on the back it leads on to diagraphs, which I will talk to you about much later in the year when we have our phonics parent meeting. Okay, something else that you might find in your book bag are a little sheet that's got lots of these different types of question cards on them. They won't be as big as this. There'll be little ones for you to take home and use however you want to at home. I'm going to explain how to use those in just a second when I model to you how you can read with your child at home. Okay. We do say in reception that it's really important that your child reads at home, has the opportunity to read at home every night. So you need to find a time when it's suitable for you to sit down with your child and have a look at a book together. It might not be that they have a book to read themselves. It might be that you're reading a book to them. A bedtime story is always a really good idea. But making sure that every single day you have set a time where you can share a book with your child. It could be bedtime, or it might be that you do it as soon as you get home from school. It might be the first thing you do when you go through the door to get it done. It's completely up to you, but just make sure that it's routine so your child knows at that time, every day, you will be sharing a book with them. And it's a really, really nice time, really nice for you to celebrate what they've learnt in school, really nice for you to see the progress that they've made in their reading. And just a nice bonding time for you to share together. Okay, so that's that part done. I've told you what you will need a book bag and what you will find in your book bag. So I'm now just going to go away and I'm going to go get my own child and I'm going to show you how I would share a book with him, so you can use that to share a book with your child at home. Okay, so I shall see you in a second. Bye. Hello everyone, welcome back. So I'm just going to show you now how you can share a story with your child. So I've just turned you around. This is Oliver. Say hi, Oliver.
Hi.
It's my son. He's going to help you with this. So as I said before, if you get one of these books, these story books here, I think the best thing for these storybooks is for you to get into bed with your child at bedtime, snug up and have a really nice go at just reading the story together, talking about the pictures, and that would be your bedtime story, which I'm sure you can do that with any book you've got at home, but that would be your bedtime story. These books, however, are a little bit different. So these books are the ones that I showed you in the book bag, and then we've also got the sound mat, and we've also got their sounds too. So every day when Oliver comes home from school, I make sure that he knows that he has got a routine of reading his reading book. So that means that we start, or we used to start, with him going through his sound book, and then we would look at his sound mat, and then we would read the book. And we would make sure we would do that every day. So sound book first, then sound mat, then read the book. Okay, so first thing I would do is say, right, Oliver, let's do your sounds in your sound book. What's this sound, Oliver? Well done. Can you press the sound, Oliver? And say the sound. And can you make the action, Oliver, for the sound? Fantastic, well done. And then, obviously, we've only got one sound in there at the moment, but these books will get full every week, different sounds every week, so keep looking at those. If you're ready for a sound mat, I might say to him, right, Oliver, let's go through your sound mat. So, Oliver, do you want to show how we do a sound mat? Brilliant. So as the children have learnt the sounds, you will be able to get quicker at doing that sound mat. And then if you get one of these books, which is a wordless book, this is just a book for you and your child to talk about. So I would always look at the title of the book and say that to your child. This is the title. And I would say the title of this book is The Apple. And then I would say, oh, can you see an apple anywhere, Oliver? And then Oliver would do, what would you do, Oliver? And he would point to it. If he hasn't got the language for apple, then I would point to it and say apple. And Oliver would copy me. What would you say, Oliver?
Apple.
Apple, that's right. If your child doesn't know what's in this picture, then this is a really good time for you to talk. Now, in your book bags, you will find some little cards that look like this. These are called colourful semantics cards, and they're really good. They're really good for when you are questioning your child with a book. Okay, so you've got your who, you've got your what doing, you've got your where, you've got your what, and you've got your when. They're the basic ones that we teach in reception. So what's really good is when you are asking your child a question, refer to this card, because then when we do it in school, the children will become really familiar with these question words, and it helps them with their writing and their speaking in sentences. So I'm going to say to Oliver now, I'm going to say, what is that?
A tree?
A tree, that's right. That is a tree, good boy. And then I will I might move on to this question, a who question. I would show Oliver the card and I would say, who is that?
Dad.
Dad, that's right, that is Dad. Fantastic. And then I might, when I'm going through the book, to another page here where I can see this page, and I would say, who is that, Oliver?
Dad.
Dad. And then I would say, what is Dad doing?
He's using a stick to try get the apple.
That's right. So that is a who and what doing. Dad is getting the apple. Okay. So lots of different ways that you can use those cards, but it's really good for you to use those cards when you are asking questions about a book, just so that the children get familiar with them, and we will do them in school. And as I say, it will really help them with their writing. There will be another parent session on that later with more detail, but just start by doing that when you're questioning. Okay, if that's a wordless book, if you get a book for your child to read, again, you might want to get them to read the title. You might read it for them. You might say, oh, this story is called K-It, Kits, K-Ip, Kip, Kits, Kip. And then you can talk using the who questions about who they can see or what they are doing. Then turn the page over and you can see here you've got some sounds and some words and a tricky word that's going to come up in the book. I would get your child to read those first, and then it's kind of setting them up to be really successful with the story. So I would say, right, Oliver, what can you tell me what those sounds are? Touch them with your finger.
G, O, K.
Well done, fantastic. And then I would say, right, let's blend those sounds to read these words. Can you read this word for me, Oliver?
Cot.
Can you sound it out for me?
K, O, T. Cot.
Brilliant. And what about this tricky word? Do we know this tricky word?
2.
Brilliant, well done. So it's really fast paced. Then I might come over here and say, oh, Oliver, just before we start this book, let's see, where's my who now? Who can we see here? Who is that?
A cat.
A cat, that's right, you can see a cat, fantastic. Model again, Kit's Kip. Then we will turn over the book. Now, if your child's at the level where they can read the words themselves, always expect them to track the text with their finger. Try not to do it for them. Obviously, to start with, you would model it for them, but then get them to do it themselves. Oliver, just show how you can track that sentence with your finger.
Kit is in Dan's cot.
That's right, well done. See how he tracked it with his finger. Really important reading skill. And then again, you'd get your question cards out and you would just have a look at the page and say, who is that? Okay, and you might say, what doing question? What is the baby doing? Or you might say, where is the dog? Or where is the cat? Okay. So really, really helpful, those cards. So look out for those in your book bag. Lots of praise when you're reading these books with your child. And then if you get time, and this is something nice for the weekend, have a look at the end of the book where you can see story comprehensions and picture detectives and lots of different things that you can do with your child after they have read. Another nice thing to do as well then is to upload a comment on Tapestry that tells your class teacher how they got on with the book. And then we know from you how they've got on and we know where to send them next. Okay, so that's all from us. And if you have any questions about this, please go see your class teacher. There will be another session for you later in the year, just after half term, that's going to go into a bit more depth about phonics. And then there'll be another session that goes into a bit more depth about these questions. But for now, that is it. So let's bye from us. You can say bye, Oliver.
Bye.
Bye. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Hi Red Babes, it's Miss Isha here. I hope you're all okay. So I just wanted to speak to you and your mummies and daddies a little bit about some of the things that we've been focusing on at the start of the year and some of the things that we would really like you to focus on at home with your children as well. Now normally we would have this parent meeting at the start of the year and we would invite you into school and we would come and speak to you in school in a big group with all of you, but unfortunately that, because of obvious reasons, that can't happen this year. So instead we're sending you this video and I want to talk to you a little bit about home routines and what you guys can do at home to help your children become independent and confident when they're at school. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is kind of a morning routine that happens with your children when you wake up in the morning before you come to school. And some of the things that we really want to enforce the message on is that idea of children being independent when it comes to them getting up in the morning and getting changed, eating their breakfast, putting on their own coat, and things like that that's going to help them to be independent when they're at school. Because when they come to school, it's really important for them to be able to feel confident enough to be able to do their own coat up so they can go outside and play whenever they want to. It's important that they can go down to the dinner hall and eat independently because you guys have been helping to support them do that at home. Now I know lunch times is a big thing for all of us because, you know, this is the first time where your children are eating outside of their homes by themselves, and that's why we have a really big push on them being independent. And if you find that sometimes your children are coming home from school and they're maybe a little bit upset or a little bit distressed about lunch times, maybe have a little think about what their eating habits are like at home. Are you encouraging them to be independent? Are you encouraging them to eat the right things? Do they have nice meal times in a routine at home? And all of those things are going to really help them when they're in school. And then that idea of eating by themselves won't seem as daunting because they know how to do it when they're at home with you guys. So I thought what I would do is, for you and the children to watch, I thought I would show you a little bit of my routine when I'm at home and what I do when I wake up in the morning, what I do when I come home from school, and what I do before I go to bed. And this might be quite nice for you to show the children that, you know, as a role model, Miss Isha, their teacher, is showing them the kind of things that we can do by ourselves, independently, in the morning, before school, after school, and at night time before we go to bed. Okay, so I hope you enjoy watching my routine.
Wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, and again, it's fine if you support them with this, so you make sure they're getting all the right places, but let them have a go themselves. And then getting dressed, letting them have a go at doing themselves. Again, you supporting with this, absolutely fine. Eating independently at breakfast time. And then here we are, putting our coat on and getting your children to have a go at doing the zip up themselves. And putting their shoes on. Teaching them and practicing with them how to tie their laces. I know that lots of children have Velcro straps on their shoes at school, which is much easier for them to do by themselves, which is a really good idea if you prefer to get them some shoes with Velcro on instead of laces, so they can do it by themselves. And then getting them to get their school bag with their book in, ready to go to school. So after you've had a long day at school, you come back. Again, let them hang their own bag up. Encourage them to take their own coat off because they should be able to do this by themselves, and hanging it up on the peg by themselves as well. And then this might be quite nice for a bit of chill out time, watch some TV, play some games with your family, have your dinner or your family meal together. And then after you've had your bath or your shower and you get into your pyjamas, you get into bed and have a go at reading a book with them, whether it be a storybook or a phonic reading book that we have sent home with them. That might be something quite nice to do before they go to bed for a bit of quiet time. Okay.
So there you are, guys. That's my routine that I've showed to you and your children that I do at home. Now, the biggest message that we're trying to get across is encouraging your children to try and do all of these things by themselves. That's the key message that we really want to try and get across, and it's up to you guys to try and encourage them to do that by themselves at home. Now, I know it's easier said than done when you're in a rush in the morning and you've got a million other things to do, or maybe you've got more than one child to sort out. And same goes for when you get home after school. I appreciate that there's lots of things that we've got to do in a day, and I know that it's probably easier for you guys to do it for them, and it's quicker and it gets done quicker, and I totally understand that. But the more we do things for our children all the time, the less independent and the less confident they're going to be when they come to school. So it really is to make your child feel more confident and more independent when they're at school. If you guys are encouraging them to be independent at home, you're showing them how to do things, you know. They're not going to be able to do things straight away. Some of them might find it a bit tricky to do their zip. Some of them might find it a bit tricky to put their socks on their shoes on when they're getting changed, and that's fine. You know, all of these things take time and they take practice. But maybe try and get your children to practice these things maybe on a weekend when you've got a bit of extra time and you're not in as much of a rush. And then by the time you get to your school days, things can be a little bit more quicker and a little bit more smoother. And it just takes an extra job off your guys' hands. You know, it'd be a lot easier for you if you could leave your child to go and get changed, brush their teeth, put their shoes on, put their coat on, and you can go off and do whatever you need to do as well. So I hope you've enjoyed that, And thank you so much for listening. And if there's anything that your teachers can help you with, if there's any of these things that you need support with at home, please come and speak to us on the door. Come and speak to me or Miss Chambers or Miss Lucy, and we are more than happy to help. Okay everyone, bye now.
Hi mums and dads, I just wanted to do a very quick video about Tapestry, why it's so important, and a quick how to use and how to log in. So Tapestry is very important because it is the way that us as class teachers and your child's key person will be able to communicate how your child is doing, what they're doing, and how they're keeping up with the curriculum and things like that. During our day we take lots of photos and videos of different children doing different things, and it's how we keep track of where your child's at, their interests, and how we communicate that to you. Tapestry is what we use, but it's also something that you can use. It's really simple, and it means that you can see what your child's doing through the day, and you can add observations at home of things that you've done with your child. So Tapestry is an app that will look like this. You go into the App Store. If it's a Samsung or an iPhone, that's fine. Type in Tapestry, and then you will get an email and a password bit. So the email is the email that you gave us and signed up with, and then your password will be Bankside Primary School, no capital letters, no spaces. All your class teachers will have given you a little slip of paper with your password on, and it will be the email that you've used. I'll log in on mine and I'll tell you how to do it. So once you've logged in, it will come straight up with all your children's observations. You'll be able to see all your children's different things that they've been doing, and it will be the ones that we have written up, done a picture and marked for you. When you go back onto yours later, it will come up like this, and it will just ask you to enter a PIN. Now your PIN will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's just logging in. Once it's logged in, it will go back onto that. So you only need to put your email and long password in once, and then after that it will just be a PIN. So once you're on, you'll be able to see everything that we've put, all the way from nursery, if they were in our nursery, up until now. And then if you want to add anything at home, it's very easy. All you need to do is tap on the little cross here. When you tap on the cross, you'll get the options to add pictures from your phone that you've taken, write a little note, and it'll be your child. So it means that then we can see what you've been doing at home, which is very exciting. Now you won't obviously be able to see anyone else's children, and no one's parents will be able to see your child, which is good. So it is just very personal to you, very personal to us. We can write notes and comment on your pictures, and you can write notes and comment on our pictures as well. That's really easy to do, and it's really useful because it means that we can see that you are seeing your pictures. So if you were to go onto an observation, there is a bit at the bottom to add a comment just here. So if you click on that, you can just type in something like that. So if you see something that you really like that we've posted at school, you can just click on that, leave a little comment, click add comment, and then we can see that, which is really lovely. And then similarly, we can do that with yours as well. So if there is any questions, or you can't get on with the little password that your teacher has given you, please come back. We can rearrange it and sit down and talk about it, and make sure that you are on with the correct email address, the correct password, and the correct PIN. I hope that makes sense, but please do ask your teacher if there's anything else that you're unsure of or it's not quite working. Thank you, bye!